Hello, welcome to Never Unboxing. This time it's a mains noise sniffer. Now there is a site where I've seen this one on, it comes from America, and they want £100 for this unit. I managed to get it from eBay via China, although they did mark it as only being $7.78. It actually cost £60. So let's see what we get. That's the unit. Let's get the unit itself, and we get a mains lead for another country. That's very helpful, isn't it? So I don't know where that is, but it does work. Obviously it's mains powered, this one, so obviously, because it has to plug in the mains to sniff it out. So it will work up to about 240 volts, I think. So I have got a cable of my own. It's probably quite a good idea with Chinese stuff anyway to change the plug, and you know you've got the right fuse in there and everything. I'd recommend a lowest value fuse you can get really for this from mains, so 3 amp would be a good one. So it will draw next to nothing. So what I'm going to do, it says leave it in for about half a minute to a minute to allow it. Oh, I just realised there's no instructions. Oh, what I'll do is I'll go onto eBay, and there was quite a bit of blurb on the site, on the page, so I'll put that all in the description on the video, so we won't need to talk about that. So basically it's just a unit that you plug into your mains. You can hear if there's any interference, and you can see on here what the voltage is, and there's a little bar to show how good or bad it is. Obviously the smaller bar the better, and it shows you in millivolts how much leakage there is, and I think it goes from about 1 kilohertz upwards, or is it? No, it's 10 kilohertz upwards. It's right at the top end of noise, and I think it's a factor of 10, so I think it might be 10 to 100,000. I know, we'll put it all in the description underneath this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get some readings. I'm going to try a few different plug sockets. I'm imagining the voltage is going to be about the same. The noise might be different, who knows, if it's near a fridge or whatever. And then I'm going to do the same measurements in the middle of the night, when obviously most people are asleep, no kettles, you know, that sort of thing. But there will be baby monitors on and things like that, you know, that might disturb the mains. I don't know if anyone uses one around here. There's going to be Wi-Fi still plugged in, so there's going to be a few things. So it's a fairly straightforward looking unit. It looks like a little OLED display, but I'm saying it's about £100 from one site where they printed their own name on it and tried to pass it off as theirs. This is obviously the Chinese one with the Chinese writing. That's fine, because you know it's a universal, it's just numbers. So I will go and get some emissions, and I think I'll keep putting this close to the microphone on the camera so that you can hear it. Go around the house, do that. Then go in the middle of the night and do it, see if there's any difference. And then I'm going to test all of my filtered sockets to see if they actually do filter anything. That might be quite an eye-opener, because we've got the audio and we've got this. So as I say, it's the top band, it's the high frequency end, so it's not the low frequency end. So it doesn't monitor and give a readout of everything. So got to bear that in mind when we be testing all these things out. Anyway. So off we go, round the house to do some testing. Okay, so I'm in the hallway. This is about the middle of my ring main. It's 6:30 Sunday evening, and we're getting a reading of about 284, which is sort of not great and not really bad, somewhere in the middle. Now a minute ago, when I was said to leave it on for a few minutes just for it to balance out. It was on 400 when I first put it on, so I think something's turned off. I think it might be the fridge. So it's on nearly double this. Anyway, so this is what I would say a busy reading. So most people will be using their kettles, ovens, microwaves. But then again, there's things like switch mode power supplies, which nearly everything come with now. They don't come with the old rack wound power supply transformers anymore, really, unless it's something to do with valves, so it needs it. So they put a lot of noise onto the mains. So anything you've got like phone chargers, anything like that that are switched on in the house, they're going to put rubbish on the mains. Anyway, this is quite noisy, isn't it? I'm going to just pop this thing. Here's the plug. So I'm just going to pop this right on top so you can hear it, right onto the microphone. Still reading just under 300 here at the moment. So I've got a Tacima noise conditioner and surge protector. So I'm going to pop this in right next to it. So the reading is 276. Turn this on. Not really much of a difference. Dropped on there by about 20 millivolts. So I'm going to turn the mains conditioner back off and let's see what happens. Right, turning it off now. Actually, I'll take it out of the because there might be a few bits that need to discharge. So 270, say. Let's pop it back in, turn it on. So it doesn't do a lot, does it? It drops about 20 millivolts. Now, when I tested it out late at night, I'm going to do it again. It was quite surprising what it did. So I'll wait until sort of, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning or something, and then I'll do it again. I wish this would stay in focus. It's very frustrating. There we go. So let's turn it back off again. Yeah, it's about 268, 248 there, 260, 258. Sort of less than 20 millivolts drop, and as you can hear, it's made no difference to the sound of the mains. You'd have thought plugging this in, it would have just gone silent, wouldn't you? Just dump, and it would have gone silent. So it's not doing very much at all, that. So let's try another sort of filtered socket, see if that makes any difference in the back room. This bank of sockets here is on a separate ring main, and it's for my hi-fi. So I'm going to plug it in first to a non-filtered socket. I'll put that on as well. So that's reading 240 volts. This is reading 244 volts. So it's about 250 on this ring. Now I've got a switch mode power supply on, which is lighting this, so we'll turn that one off, and I've got Wi-Fi on as well. So switch mode power supply off there, and I'll turn the Wi-Fi off, and I'll turn that off. So all I've got on it now is the Virgin box down there and the preamp on standby. That's the only two things that are on this ring main now. It hasn't made any difference really. It's not less noisy, is it? Right then, so next to these, you see the ones with the lights, LED lights on. Those are MK filtered sockets. So let's see, we're getting a reading of about 250 there. So it's a bit messy at the moment, so I'm going to redecorate soon. I keep putting it off, but I'm going to get around to it. And once again, the filtered socket, these actually have cartridges in that you can take out, and when they go red, that's if the surge goes or something, I guess, or it just wears out. You just replace that. But according to this, it's not worth bothering about at all. It's not even worth having the plug socket, because there is no difference with the noise coming through the mains, whether it's filtered or not. No different. That is disappointing. Alright, we'll try another room. Okay, so this socket bank here, this is on a separate onto the fuse box, and the fuse box is actually just through this wall on the other side in the kitchen, so it's not a very long run either to the fuse box. Right, so this is a separate. And it's a little bit quieter, this one. A little bit. Sorry I can't get this in focus. It's not, I don't know why it keeps doing this, but it's not focusing very well. So it's a little bit quieter. As you see, the other one went up to about 270 the whole way. And these sockets are not filtered. Plain ordinary sockets, MK sockets. And also going at the same time, I've got a switch mode on the radio there charging. I've got these lights, salt rock lamps that I wired up to some LEDs. They're on a 12 volt. I've got the preamp, I guess you'd call it there, that's on at the moment. But so dropped under 200 then. Right then. Now over here, let's just put a bit of light on the situation. This here, I've done a review on this. This is a filtered, let me just show you the front of it. There we go. I've already done a unboxing on this one. Power supply, anti-surge, and it's meant to be filtered. So we already know what it is because it's wired onto this bank. We already know it's about 200 at the moment. So if I plug this in, let's go here. I plug that in there. And this is running on it's 4 meter cable, and it's got an earth drain going back. Remember, this is through a filtered socket now. And again, it's slightly less with the filtered socket, but about 10 or 20 millivolts less than just plugging it straight into the mains. But this time now, although the reading's the same, I've got to say that it's a little bit quieter, the noise, but there's still plenty of noise coming through, isn't there? Let's see what's reading on the front there. So all in all, this little device has told me that that's if this is accurate. So I think it's 10 kilohertz to 10 megahertz, something like that. It's on the very top end of the mains. Anyway, it's definitely picking up some noise. And it really looks like all the filtered sockets that I've got are not making any difference at all. Right, I've got one more filtered socket I can try. I'll go and do that now. Okay then, so I plug this one in. This is another Tacima with the mains conditioner in, filter, smoother, whatever you want to call it, which I reckon is probably the same as that plug-in unit. I've also got a Russ Andrews fuse in this, so this would be quiet, right? Not really. Can you hear the sweep? There's a sweep. So, filtered sockets don't seem to be working here. So let's take a reading. 223, 228, 235, let's say the reading's 230 millivolts. So let's just go to where that one's plugged in. It's over here. It's plugged in there. I'd say it's slightly less interference, slightly, without the mains filter. So much for mains filters then. Wow. So all I'm going to do, other than what I've done now, is plug it back into the main hallway. And in the early hours, I'm just listening, the fridge is on as well at the moment. So in the early hours, I'll do one more test here. So the filter sockets, the filter's off. So what's the time now? Just gone 7 o'clock. Reading's about 220 millivolts. Okay, so it's the middle of the night. Well, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. And this is the sort of noise there is at 4 o'clock in the morning around the 200 mark. If I put this filter on, how about that? It's more noisy with the filter on. That's that Tacima plug-in one. Turn it off. Turn it back on. Gotta turn it off. It actually puts noise on to the mains. I had the TV on in the other room. It's a Sharp LCD 60-inch one. I just turned it off and that noise has dropped significantly, and that was on the other ring main as well. Same fuse box there. The TV was making all that noise. It's sort of a lot quieter now. That's quite interesting. So I guess a few more power supplies, I might be able to get down a bit lower. I turned everything off in the back room, other than the Virgin Media box, so I expect that would make some difference. So I guess you only got to think about 4 or 5 appliances on now. So like my radio is on standby in the bedroom, things like that. would probably make up to about 200. So probably most of the pollution is coming from in the house and not coming from outside at all. Seeing that difference, just turning the telly off then, but there's not a lot left on now really, just a few things. Of course there's the hallway light, which are LED, so they might buzz back in the system. But that's interesting. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and turn it back on. Just pop this down here. So that difference there, that is going up and down. That's having the TV on in the back room, which is on a separate ring main to this one in the hallway. So the TV is responsible for about 50 millivolts on its own. I'll just go and turn it back off again. Yeah, about that. It's a lot quieter without the TV on. The fridge is off in the kitchen as well. There's not a lot on right now, just a few things maybe on standby. Yeah, I've got a DAB radio cassette. Cassette? This day and age? No, it's CD. Even that's old fashioned now. On standby in the kitchen, and one in the bedroom as well, radio DAB. Got a little media player. That's on standby, so that's two things. Power supply for the internet, that's one transformer. And the Virgin Media box in the back room, that's on all the time, just on standby. So if each one of them is about 20 or 30, that's nearly that 180, 190 there. So I would think that most of the pollution on the mains is actually generated in-house, and it's not actually coming from the outside mains at all, really. At the moment, as you've seen in the middle of the day, this was a lot higher. There we are. So that's a little test of my new unit. Thanks for watching, and see you again next time.